Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of ClearPath Retirement Radio podcast. I'm Stuart Smith, as always, here with my buddy Mitch Davies. We're going to talk about some things that, we see every day here at ClearPath, as far as how we help clients and the things that we see that we really can bring to their attention and hopefully help them with. And much like a doctor looks at an EKG, a lot of times we're looking at clients' statements and clients' tax returns, and we're kind of going through and seeing where are the cracks,
Right.
and where can we see opportunities to bring value and improve what they're doing. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, things that we see commonly. And I think this will help a lot of folks out there to kind of get dialed in on this stuff and get your wheels turning and get you thinking about it. And if we do that, then we've done our job, right?
That's right. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Got a lot of stuff here.
Well, let's start where most people probably think we wouldn't start, and that is with legacy planning cracks that we see,
Yeah.
estate planning cracks that we see. And one is that the house is titled incorrectly. We see this a lot. We see people come in and they say, they'll tell us one thing like, no, the house is titled jointly. And when we really dive in and dial down, we see that, no, it's in one of their names, not the other name. Right. And that can be a problem, can it?
It can. And Stuart, this is my favorite thing about working at ClearPath, man, is we, like you said, probably wouldn't expect us to start on the legacy stuff, but we really try to spend time, again, bringing value in all the different ways. We don't just look at investment statements and just look at returns. We're looking at all this stuff, and the house is a great place to start. It's most people's, most important asset, right? That's where you live. So we want to make sure that's titled the right way. We want to make sure there's no tax complications when it comes to you and your spouse, it comes to you and your heirs, however it is.
Yeah, I think we approach it the right way. We approach it in kind of what can we do for you, and not maybe what can we, get from you, right? Like that's a lot of advisors out there are going to just kind of jump right into those investment statements and say, okay, what's in this for me? And we don't do that here at ClearPath. We're looking at all kinds of ways to bring value and all kinds of ways that we can help you. And one of the cracks we see is that the house is titled incorrectly. Ultimately, I know here in South Carolina and probably most states, what you want to do is if you're a married couple, you definitely want that house titled joint with rights of survivorship.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly important, because what happens if the house is titled joint with rights of survivorship is that if something happens to one of you, the other one is nothing they need to do. The house is just kind of in their name at that point, and no paperwork drills, nothing to jump through. You're just kind of, you're good to go.
Right.
But where it can be a problem is, what happens when that second person passes? Right. And that's the kind of stuff we deal with a lot. And if you don't have a TOD designation, a transfer on death designation, which basically acts as like a beneficiary designation on that title to that house, then, that house is going through probate. And a lot of people go, oh,
probate.
Not probate, right? So probate's tough. It takes time and money and energy that most people don't have at that time. And so that can be an issue. And, there's several ways to avoid that. TOD designations, one, we always really, really promote the living revocable trust here, and having the house titled into the trust, which is going to protect it in so many other ways, just other than who gets it when the second person dies.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we see is bank accounts don't have POD designations.
Yeah.
And what's a POD, Mitch?
So it's going to work the exact same. It stands for payable on death, and this is commonly how bank accounts will do it. Some of them will allow a transfer on death, but for all intent and purposes, they're the same thing. But this is often overlooked. It's not a requirement when you set up a bank account at all. You have to actually go and seek it out yourself. You could go start a checking account today, and they're not going to make you set up a POD. So it's very common to not have it. And people just think, oh, it's a bank account, whatever. But that money could be tied up for a long time. And having that extra, checking account or savings account ready for the heirs can really help speed up the probate process and help pay for some of those things. Yeah. So you want to make sure, go to your bank and just ask for a POD form. It's a 1 or 2 page form, but make sure you have that on checking accounts, savings accounts. It's going to act as a beneficiary designation and help smooth out the process.
Yeah, and especially if you don't have life insurance, which is money that's going to be paid out pretty darn quickly after you're gone, to help cover with the, estate fees, if there are any, and, to just kind of keep things rolling until, the probate can be completed and all the assets can be distributed, hopefully according to the way you wanted them to be. Hey, if you enjoyed what you heard today on our podcast, please tune in every week. And if you don't mind, drop us a like or subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. It helps us to get this great information out to more folks.